So guys, the crowd that JD Vance runs in is ripe for criticism. He is ripe for criticism. He is in his little online far right-wing world. He's got terminal brain worms from being on the internet all the time. And this worked out horribly for Ron DeSantis, right? He was just too plugged in, too much in that right-wing bubble, thought all anybody cared about is wokeness, wokeness, wokeness. Turns out that's only big on right-wing Twitter. People in the real world are like, what's wokeness? I don't even know what that means. Okay, JD Vance suffers from a similar problem. So, look at this. He apparently wrote a blurb for a book of a friend of his, and now it's coming back to bite him in the ass, and it should. JD Vance wrote book blurb for Jack Posobiec, far-right influencer of Pizzagate fame. Yes, this is the guy who pushed one of the dumbest conspiracies of all time, Pizzagate. JD Vance's buddy. JD Vance's blurb in the book. So the name of the book is Unhumans, and it basically suggests that progressives don't count as like real people. They're so extreme, they're so out there that they're just unhuman. Yeah, great. Good stuff, right? Good stuff. This is what you want in a presidential candidate. It's all about like unity and bringing the country together, and I represent all of America. And by the way, everybody who disagrees with me politically, you're not even human. Okay, here we go. Trump's vice presidential running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, endorsed a book published this month by Jack Posobiec, a right-wing influencer, famous for helping spread the Pizzagate conspiracy in 2016. Posobiec's book, written with Joshua Lissick, is titled Unhumans, The Secret History of Communist Revolutions and How to Crush Them. Vance wrote an editorial review, commonly known as blurb, praising the book. It's a small but fresh example of how conspiracy theorists have become massively influential among Republicans. That's a great point. That's a great point. There is nothing analogous on the Democratic side. There's just not. In the past, communists marched in the streets waving red flags. Today, they march through HR, college campuses, and courtrooms to wage a lawfare against good, honest people, Vance wrote. In Unhumans, Jack Posobiec and Joshua Lissick reveal their plans and show us what to do to fight back. Posobiec has amassed over 2 million followers on X, formerly Twitter, and some party operatives last year described Posobiec as the next George Will in terms of influence over GOP thought, despite or perhaps because of his radical views. The book's premise is that communists of history and modern-day progressives fundamentally oppose civilization itself, and therefore they're not even really people. I love this dumb straw man, right? It's like, no, progressives want to create a better civilization. They want to progress into making things improved, like healthcare for everybody, like higher wages for everybody, like social freedoms, right? No, it's you're against civilization, full stop. Yeah, way to steel man your opponent there, buddy. By becoming consumed by nihilism, unhumans oppose everything that makes up humanity. Posobiec and Lissick write in their introduction, as they are opposed to humanity itself, they place themselves outside the category completely in an entirely new, misery-driven subdivision, the unhuman. This is deranged shit, man. Book blurbs are part of an elite reciprocal favor economy and are typically written by people who have not actually read the book. They're blurbing. So to be fair to J.D. Vance, I would not be surprised if he didn't read the book. But it's also very possible, since he's a massive dork and he loves this right-wing world, that he did read the book. But it's clear why Vance might have liked the premise of Unhuman, since he has used strikingly similar rhetoric. In 2021, he claimed the childless left was motivated by its own misery to immiserate the entire country. Oh my God. Oh my God. The unhuman concept also gels with Donald Trump's authoritarian description of his political opponents as vermin. Posobiec's book purports to give its readers strategies to crush the unhumans and suggests that it can't be done through democratic means. Quote, democracy has never worked to protect innocence from the unhumans. It's time to stop playing by rules they won't. So that's nice. The book is just flat out anti-democracy. Real healthy stuff here. Good stuff. Posobiec and Lissick stress in the final chapter, however, in having excused the January 6, 2021 mob attack on Congress by Trump supporters as a lawfare trap, that they don't support violence. Quote, illegal and harmful acts to further any political cause should be condemned totally. We do, they write. Thus, all commentary of ours should be interpreted in the spirit of law and order. We cannot save civilization by suspending it. Instead of illegal means, Posobiec and Lissick encourage their readers to make public lists of unhumans, to make fun of them, attack them with lawfare, and cancel culture. Oh, look at that. Right-wingers in favor of cancel culture. And to support legislation that would increase, quote, tax transparency and ban public teacher unions. There's that populist J.D. Vance again, wanting to ban public teacher unions. So anyway, I got some more on this for you. This is from Nathan Robinson. The book that J.D. Vance endorsed outright calls for rejecting democracy, saying that in the war against unhumans, it's time to stop playing by their rules. Quoting Franco, fascist dictator, saying that we do not believe in government through the voting booth. Well, that's good. That's good stuff. More, the book J.D. Vance blurbed is truly deranged, praising Pinochet for throwing people out of helicopters. But, you know, they're against violence, they say, in a sentence or two in the book. So this, they don't mean they like that he murdered people, throwing them out of helicopters. They're for scaring people by throwing them out of helicopters or something like that. Encouraging the great men of our time to exact eye for eye justice against the communists, ban all teachers' unions, and quash unhumans with the methods of Franco and McCarthy. So he continues, it recommends using the terror tactics of Mao's China, publishing blacklists and stopping the squads of unhumans, saying reason must be discarded. Also warns you might be married to one of the unhumans. Interesting that the supposedly populist J.D. Vance has endorsed a plan to immediately ban teachers' unions. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, these are the circles that J.D. Vance runs in. Deranged, bizarre, extremist, freakish, not interested in actually creating a better world, interested in owning and destroying their political opponents, and sometimes quite literally. So, yeah. Good choice there, Don. Really good choice for VP. Sure that's going to work out well for you. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.